What's up, guys? I have another camera video. I've got the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. They keep changing the name every generation, so I keep forgetting what to call it. But this one is officially called the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. So that's what I have today, and I'm going to do a bunch of stuff with this in the next few days. But the very first thing I thought I would do is the thing that most everyone asks about. I want to do a low light comparison between the Pocket 3 and the DJI Osmo Action 4. On paper, this is kind of a no-brainer. The Pocket 3 is going to be better. It has a larger sensor and it has mechanical stabilization, whereas the Action 4 uses a smaller sensor with digital stabilization that is cropping in even more on that already smaller sensor. But it is like one of the most common things people ask about between these two cameras, probably because the Action 4 just came out. And one of the big things, like if you go to DJI's website right now and pull up the page on the Action 4, the very first thing it lists is low light performance. So like it makes sense. People want to see how that looks compared to this. Spoiler alert, the Pocket 3 looks significantly better. It should. It's kind of more for that. But let's go to the video and I'll show you my actual testing for this. I just went outside my house at night. It's just a house in the suburbs. I got street lights and a couple of house lights on and stuff, but it's pretty low light. Like it's seriously dark. I would say this is probably darker than any situation you would normally try to use one of these cameras for. Like I think the darkest thing you would really use this camera for is maybe like a concert or a bar or something like that. And it's significantly darker than that, but it gives you a pretty good idea how they perform with both of them at just their default settings, their default low light mode or whatever. So yeah, check this out and then I'll come back and say some more things. Okay, so here's the Pocket 3 and the Action 4. Both of these are in their default like low light setting. The Pocket 3 is in the actual low light setting in the menu, and the Action 4 has auto low light enhancement on. You can see super obviously the Pocket 3 is definitely brighter. The Action 4 is, darker, also noisier, although the Pocket 3 does have some noise. I am probably going to end up setting the max ISO on the Pocket 3 lower than the default value, because I do think that at its maximum ISO, it's kind of noisy, but honestly, that's pretty good for a small camera like that. The combination of the 1-inch sensor and the mechanical stabilization, so you're not having to use like digital stabilization and crop in on that sensor, makes it look really pretty good. Like that is impressive to me. It looks about like the ZV-1, which makes sense as they have the same size sensor. But yeah, I think what I'm going to ultimately do is set my max ISO on the Pocket 3 to, I don't know, maybe 6400. That might be my next test, is to like, it's obviously a trade-off. Like the higher the ISO, the brighter the image, but the more noise there is. So it kind of gets to a point where you got to just test it out and figure out which one you care about more, cleaner image or brighter image. But yeah, so there we go. Pretty stark difference. Okay, so yeah, like I said, pretty big difference. You can definitely see more noise in some respects in the Pocket 3 picture, but it's just because it's so much brighter. You can obviously, like, at least having that gives you the option to set the max ISO lower or pull it down in post or whatever. Gives you the option to have that, whereas the Action 4 is just kind of like so dark that not really much you can do with that at that point. And the more you zoom in on it, the more you see that it's pretty noisy too. So yeah, definitely going to want to use the Pocket 3 in low light situations. Another thing that I'm really liking this camera for is this. I'm shooting a talking head segment on it right now, and this is like the smallest, most portable, but also high quality setup. Like, let me see, pull out my iPhone and I will show you what I have going on. You also get to see the insanity that is the other side. Let's see, video. This is also Daisy's craft room. So I've got a bunch of crazy stuff going on over there. But yeah, just have this on a little nebula capsule tripod. And that's pretty much all you need to do what I think is a pretty good looking talking head segment. Really looking forward to traveling and using this setup, because this is the kind of thing you could pop out in a hotel room and still look good. But at any rate, back to low light. Yeah, obviously the Pocket 3 wins. It's not particularly close. Who is texting me? Cool. The Pocket 3 wins. It is not particularly close, but the Action 4 is still good in low light for an action camera. I mean, you're not going to get anything else in that form factor that's that good. Maybe the Insta360 with the 1-inch sensor, but it's way more expensive, and Insta360 is just not my favorite in terms of software. Maybe they've gotten better. It's been a few years, but whatever. But yeah, so if what I would do and what I am going to do is probably this. I'm keeping the Action 4, and I'm obviously keeping the Pocket 3. And I am going to use the Action 4 for things that the Pocket 3 can't do. You still get a really good image quality out of the Action 4, and you can get that image quality at the beach or at a pool or riding a bike or something, things that I would probably not suggest you do with the Pocket 3. So I think the combination, I think more so than the like, oh, one is better than the other, it's kind of a mute. More so than like one being just straight up better than the other, it's one of those situations where like they both have their strengths and weaknesses, and really ideally I think the better move is to have both if you can swing it, because this little camera is awesome. Like it, to me, it's much closer to my Fuji XS20 in terms of image quality than it is like an action camera, a little handheld camera. And it is definitely really good in low light. Like I'm gonna take it out and do some like inside a restaurant at night kind of footage. I'm gonna do like a vlog test soon, and I'm also gonna do a ISO test first, actually, to see what I want to set my maximum ISO to, because I think the full range, the default setting, gets too noisy for me. So I'm gonna do that first. But yeah, this will be great for like indoors at night, like maybe Action 4 during the day when you go to the beach or go hiking or something, and then Pocket 3 at night when you go out to dinner or go dancing or something like that. Like it's a pretty good combination, and their picture profiles their color profiles look similarly enough that it wouldn't be jarring. Like you can mix those two kinds of footage together. So I think that's really the answer, is kind of both is cool to have. But yeah, if you're just straight up looking for what has better image quality in low light, it's absolutely the Pocket 3, like no question about it. I'm going to now wait for it to get dark and probably get on doing that max ISO test, because I am really curious as to what's gonna look the best. So that's probably gonna be my next video, followed by like a vlog test thing. So stay tuned, hit the like and subscribe button. I'm contractually obligated to say that as a person who puts videos on YouTube, so do that. Thank you, and see you in the next video. Later.